When we started the strategy process, one of the things that we were really quite intentional about as GNP Plus was to really start to review our previous strategy, but also really consult our communities to actually understand and not build a strategy that is based on just us, but we actually really consulted our partners, our communities, and our key stakeholders to answer some of the complex questions we had around our vision. And through that process, we really built really a strong strategy that is centered around collaboration again, as we mentioned before. And therefore, I think for me the key highlight was really that as we think about community leadership in the HIV response, that we really need to build a stronger global network such as GNP Plus. Our key pillars is building a really strong network, but not only just the global network of people living with HIV, but also how do we make sure that this goes to our communities? How do we build stronger networks so that we are able to we continue to leading the HIV risk. And ever since, GNP Plus has been growing. We've got offices in Cape Town, we've got offices in Amsterdam. We have a diverse team of people across different countries, across different regions. Even our board is based on different regions, but also different representatives of our communities.
The title of our new strategy, or rather the theme of it, is For Our Health and Our Rights. It seeks to respond to the current scenario we are in, the world we see, the world we envision. And so it speaks to taking us to the future. It is not lost to us that we are about 8 years shy of getting to the global goals of ending AIDS as a global epidemic by 2030. What happened next? How do we get to ending AIDS by 2030? We, as communities of people living with HIV and our communities of key populations, know fully well the barriers that will not get us there. And we are hoping that with this strategy, we lay out systems and activities and actions that will be able to move us towards achieving this global goal, create very tangible, community-driven and community-led interventions towards achieving this goal, because it matters to us, not as a global target, but because it's our lives. Secondly, there's lots of work that Sibo has alluded to that we have been doing. Our work on the People Living with HIV Stigma Index continues to excite us in how much data we can be able to get and package from communities and to use to change legal, program, finance plans at country level. We will continue this work and other community-led research work to ensure that our advocacy is data-driven. Additionally, we want to be joined together in movement building about the matters that are for our lives. Treatment access is one of those very key things for people living with HIV. If one of us who needs treatment does not have their treatment in their hand, no one is getting to the end of AIDS at 2030. So this is very primal for us, and it's not a global movement. It starts from global and needs to connect very strongly with our regions and our countries to our households. We know it's not a matter of getting the pill in our hands that stops us from taking it. It's the things that make it impossible for us to move from taking the pill or the treatment from our hands into ourselves. Stigma, internal stigma. The environments for which we live in, where there's gender-based violence, where there's exclusion, where there's violence and criminalization. All these things make it impossible for us to access and take treatment. So all these things are important for us, and there's opportunity within the strategy to get very active around it. As I conclude, we are existing in a world where HIV exceptionalism is going away. Some see this as an opportunity, and it could also have its threats. But how do we organize ourselves as movements of people living with and affected by HIV to keep the HIV agenda well secured in the global plans, current and into the future. In the discussions of pandemic preparedness and response, in the conversations of building resilient health systems, how do this work for HIV? Communities of people living with HIV have been here for years. We have a lot of experience and already existing systems and mechanisms for building community action, community monitoring and evaluation, community-led monitoring of services to improve quality service delivery. These things need not be reinvented. We can work with already existing systems on community engagement, on task shifting, and we have all this experience that we need to share with you as you're thinking about the future and as you're thinking about broader health. There's a lot of opportunities in our new strategy, and once it's launched, I believe Sibo and I and all of our partners and our board members and colleagues or team will share the different aspects of it, and I hope you're as excited about the work that we have ahead of us, without not being true to the reality that it's a lot, but excited all the same, because a lot is needed to be done to get us to the global goals, but to think about the future.